is W2FJH, bringing up the STNY Digital VoiceNet on Brand My Stock Group 31367, Wires X Room 83721, and live stream to Google Meet and YouTube. The primary purpose of the STNY Digital VoiceNet is to help foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York and to provide a forum for those that are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. While this net is primarily for the southern tier, all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly on Sundays at 7 p.m. For more information about this net, please visit STNYDMR.net. This net will prioritize short-time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power stations. We currently do have quite a few stations that you checked in through NetLogger, so the net would like to recognize K3BYC Carlton, N2 BSS Jeff, W2 KDC Dennis, N3 DQD Ray, N2 NCD Paul, N2 RWH Ed, and N2 QFD Mail. Alright, when checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and your location. So let's first take a standby for any stations that are short time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power. Please call now.
And 2RWH, in and out.
Alright, and we had N2RWH Ed checking in and out. Thanks for stopping by there, Ed. Alright, let's open it up for any station that would like to check into the STNY Digital VoiceNet this evening. Please call now.
N2 NRA, Clifton Waverly.
This is N3 OJP Mick here in Western New York.
Alright, and we have N2 NRA Cliff and N3 OJP Mick. Were there any other stations that joined this evening? Please call now. Alright, now that I heard this, let's kick things off. If there's any announcements for the net this evening, please call now. Alright, no announcements, so let's move into questions. If there's any questions for the net this evening, please call now. Alright, now that I heard there either, so we will move in for comments. And the net topic this evening is we are talking about Talker Alias. Do you transmit Talker Alias on DMR? Typically this option is in a code plug for most radios, and sometimes it can be changed on the front panel. But we're looking to see if you were transmitting Talker Alias for the net topic this evening. Alright, so first on my list is K3BYC Carlton. How was your week?
This is K3BYC, Carlton in Darlington, Maryland. Good evening, Frank. Thanks for taking the net, and good evening to everyone else who's checked in. Well, I guess the better question is, how was my day? Cold weather and some snow. The storm didn't start till late this afternoon, and it's still going pretty light, so I expect a few inches out of this. I'll be doing the cleanup tomorrow. I've never used Talker Alias. Frankly, I don't understand the principle there. So I'll say negative to the question, but I wouldn't mind if you had a general explanation of what that is there. I haven't used enough DMR to get familiar with that. So that's all I have for now. Everybody stay warm, stay safe. This is K3BYC, back to net control.
Hey, thanks, Sir Carlton, and yeah, definitely, stay safe, stay warm, and hope the cleanup tomorrow isn't too bad. So Talker Alias is basically it's transmission when you TX or when you receive. Typically, your radio will have a certain number of contacts in there. The Anytone 878 UV2. I'm actually currently using the BTEC 6X2 Pro. They have a contact list of about 500,000 DMR IDs. I think the radio ID database right now, I think it has something in effect of like 278,000. So it is growing, but still plenty of buffer room for some of the higher end radios. However, some of the cheaper radios like the MD UV380, or actually I'm listening in also on a Radiodity GD77. The contacts are very limited. There may be to 80 to 100,000 that you can typically put in there, so you can't really put in the whole database. So Talker Alias is when you actually PTT it under the covers with the digital signal. It will also transmit basically a string of text, and typically you're going to put your call sign and your name in there. Carlton, I did see. I'm not sure if it's coming from my hotspot or if you have it set up there. But I have my Radiodity GD77 I have set up here. It did turn up with your name and call sign. I didn't put any contacts in this radio specifically for this reason. For anybody on the net there that would like to know if you are transmitting Talker Alias as well. So hopefully that was a short and sweet introduction to what Talker Alias was. And I guess we will go down to our next station there. So N2 BSS, you're next on my list there, Jeff. How was your week?
Yeah, good evening, W2FJH and then N2 BSS. Well, asking how my week was is actually a loaded question because everybody in our household, with the exception of the feline residents, has come down with the flu. So we're all sick. In fact, one of our coworkers had to send a care package over, and I think it was Friday night, of Gatorade and bottled water and a few other things just to get on through. So I'm still feeling some of the symptoms. The worst of it feels like it's come and gone. Probably is just denigrated into sinus infection at this point, but still uncomfortable. But at least I'm not sleeping 20 out of 24 hours. So unfortunately, that's that. But well, maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But before we get there, we got to get through some of the coldest weather of the winter. Not entirely looking forward to that, but I will say this: I'm not traveling into the W place at all during that cold weather because I'm not risking a relapse of this. That's for sure. And if they don't like it, they can get bent. That's the story on that. Talker Alias, don't use it. If I'm showing up with anything on my signal, it's because my hotspot is doing it for me. I experimented with it a little bit when I first got into DMR. I apparently was having some kind of trouble. I don't remember what. May have been caused by having Talker Alias on, may not have been caused by Talker Alias being on. I don't know. All I know is been an old pilot's trick. When you do and there's an issue with the aircraft, you undo and see if the issue goes away. So I undid Talker Alias, and whatever problem I seemed to be having went away. So I blamed at that time Talker Alias for it, and being at that time being due to DMR, I wasn't really sure if that was it or not, but it could still be just a coincidence, but I was never enthralled to turn that feature back on. So that if it shows up, it's only because my hotspot's doing it. Back to you, Frank, and to BSS.
Hey, sounds good there, Jeff. And yeah, started feeling better there. Hope the best for you there. And yeah, man, it's a bad time with how cold it's going to be coming up to have the flu. But I do hear it's going around. So do feel better. And yep, you were coming up on my radio there again. I'm not sure if it's your hotspot, my hotspot, but you were coming up. So also, I did want to also mention that if you go on to Brandmeister .network and you click on information and you go to talk groups and you go to the Southern Tier or any other talk group that you've done recently, there's a last heard, and under the last heard it should also show up what the talker alias was that you were transmitting on. So, but either way, Jeff, you were coming up. So, all right, next on the list is W2KDC Dennis. Dennis, how was your week?
Hi, Frank, and everyone on the net. My week was just fine. Nothing special. That's what I like to have. Just a quiet week, pretty much. Uh, as far as the Talker Alias, I transmit it and I receive it. Uh, I don't know that well, the benefit, I guess, of transmitting it is other people can see who I am. But by receiving the Talker Alias, if I had it in my contact list, because I don't update it real often, I'll still get.
Hey, very good there, Dennis. And just by the way, or at least for me, it happened. I'm on the 3104 Brandmeister talk group. I have my cell phone, not my radio, my cell phone, sitting off to the side there. I think that's connected to the 3102. For some reason, Dennis cut out on my radio, my main radio, and I saw that he was still talking on my cell phone though, so I turned him up. I did catch the last portion of that, but anybody else, not sure if it was just a me thing, but you might have heard some silence there, and it sounded like Dennis cut out, but that must have been a Brandmeister thing. Otherwise, he was talking loud and clear on 3102. So, all right, next on my list is N3DQD Ray. Welcome to the net, and how was your week there?
Yeah, hello, Frank. This is N3DQD. My name is Ray. I'm in Beaver, Pennsylvania, and Mick N3OJP was the one who suggested that I might like your net. So I've had a little trouble this evening. My node dropped out, so I missed the first part of the net, and I had to do a reset. But it seems to be working fine. And then when Dennis dropped off, I thought my node dropped off again, too, so I went in and checked it, and it seems to be okay now. So I don't know whether it's a situation with my internet here, missing a packet or so. I'm not really sure, but every once in a while I have to reset this thing. But that's my story. Back to you. This is N3DQD.
Yeah, very good there, Ray, and thanks thanks for the confirmation there. So it might have not been just a me thing. I think it might have been a Brandmeister thing, because he was coming loud and clear on my cell phone on 3102. But yeah, since you missed the first part of the net, you might have missed the net topic. So the net topic we were talking about was Talker Alias, and we were talking about if you do transmit Talker Alias on DMR. As I mentioned, typically most of the time this option is available in the code plug. Some radios might have it be able to turn on or turn off from the front panel. But we were talking if you were transmitting Talker Alias. So I'll hand it back over to you there, Ray, for another quick comment.
Well, I'll have to go into my app. I'm using a ClearNode with the app to control it, so I'll go in and look. I saw where my Talker Alias is in there, but I'm very, very new to this mode of operation, so I'm not 100% on how you do things with it yet. But I'm learning, so hopefully I will get it all cleared up. Am I showing on your screens now when I transmit or not?
Yeah, so on my GD77, I think this might be my hotspot doing something because on my GD77, you are showing up that I see a Talker Alias pop up because I don't have any contacts in this radio. But actually, on my Blue DV, and you might be able to see later on if you replay the YouTube video. Your call is just coming up with the DMR ID. It's not showing up your call sign. So I'm not quite certain if that means that you're not transmitting it, or maybe I just have to update my call sign database out of Blue DV. But I'll hand it back to you there, Ray, one more quick time for an additional comment.
Well, as I said, I will go in and look. I think my name is coming up under my Talker Alias. When I looked down at it a while back, I thought it was in there. So I will check that again. But as far as me seeing anything, that's totally out of the question because I do not see it all.
Okay, very good there, Ray. And yes, it might just be my Blue DV. I need to update my contacts list because I went on to brandmeister.network, and out of the last herd, I do see a Talker Alias coming out as Ray N3DQD. So yes, you are transmitting Talker Alias then. So I guess it's a good way to verify for anybody if you go on to a talk group that you've talked on and look for that column of Talker Alias. So, all right. Before I get to my next station, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital VoiceNet. Let me take a quick standby for any additional stations that would like to check in this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there. So we will continue on down the list to N2NCB. Paul, how was your week?
Hello again, Frank. I don't know why MP didn't care. Maybe I'm not whole. But anyway, not too bad. The talk thing that we've been talking about, didn't know that existed, but I kind of like it coming up on the screen because if I don't quite hear the call sign, at least it's on the screen to remind me of whom I'm talking to. Don't know whether that's the rig or the hotspot, but either way, as far as I'm concerned, it's a nice feature. And anything else? No, I think that's it from this end. Back to you, Frank. Take care, all. N2NCB.
Hey, very good there, Paul. And yes, honestly, Channel 91, the Worldwide Talk Group. Usually, if my contacts are out of date and I ever key up 91, that's when I get a whole bunch of numbers just popping on my screen instead of call signs. And that's when I actually hit that about a week ago, and I was like, you know what? I haven't updated my DMR contacts on my radio in like 2 years, so I finally got around to it, and all the names pop up now, and so it's also a thing that typically, if people are transmitting Talker Alias, you might not even notice that you don't have a contact in your radio, because it will just display the contact name. So it's always a nice thing just for people who either have a radio that can't hold many contacts, or just as time goes on, it's um, it's nice to always have at least, like you said, that comes up with their name and call sign, so you can at least remember who you're talking to, right? So, all right. Next on my list is N2QFD Mel. How was your week?
Hey Frank, how you doing? And hello to the rest of the net. I've been pretty radioactive this week, so that's been good. Playing with digital stuff. Got some interface equipment built up here for my radios. With the question to the net, I'm a lazy DMR operator. I have not updated my database in ages, and I can't remember if I had it turned on or not, to be honest with you. I did notice though, Dad, who's next on the list, N2NRA, he's running one of the DM1702 Baofeng radios, and like you said, it has a much smaller capacity for memory, and it's been one of the things for him. We've noticed it's full and it doesn't have enough memory. We don't have everyone that's typically in the group in there, so he was actually asking me, why don't I see their credentials all the time? And I said, I think you're out of storage. We should probably update that. So I guess that's the scoop on this side. Mostly doing HF stuff, and got a couple of parks on the air today. We'll work on keeping warm on this end. It's currently 19 degrees at the Elmira Airport, so bundle up. N2QFD, back to net.
Hey, very good there, Malin. Yeah, I've done that too. I've taken the radio ID database, and I've actually stripped it down and went into basically Excel, and you can filter on things, and said, okay, well, I can't get the whole database in there, so let's just try the U.S. and then, oh well, that's too big, and then, okay, well, let's just try like New York, PA, and eventually you can get it down to your a proximity of where you want the contacts, and then yeah, you're kind of up to Talker Alias after that. So, and just by the way, you do have a Talker Alias, which is coming up as N2QFD, but your Talker Alias says Radio-A afterwards. And I haven't. He said you were radioactive. I was like, oh, so he must have said it as radioactive, but it kind of got cut off a little bit there. So very good there. All right, next on my list. Oh, sorry. Before I get to the next person on my list there, I just wanted to mention that NE2W Ed has also joined us and is checked in. All right, so next on my list is N2NRA Cliff. How was your week?
This is N2NRA in the group. Hope everybody's staying warm and being safe for this cold weather. It's like some negative temperatures coming up this week. Just this evening, listened to the Mighty KC at 6:30. But as far as the Talker ID, like Mel said, I asked what it was about. I guess we're both going to learn something on that. So tonight, Buffalo is playing against the Ravens, and we'll see which wins. I see Kansas City won their game last night. This is N2NRA, back to the net control.
Hey, very good there, Cliff. And let me know how that works, or if you need some tips or hints between you and Mal, and kind of filtering out like, okay, well, let's filter it down to just New York State IDs or something. And yeah, it's a little bit of a little bit of googling and okay, how do I filter on Excel off of this column, and eventually you get it there. But let me know if you need any tips or hints on getting that set up for you. So, all right, next on my list is N30JP. Mick, how was your week?
Oh, well, good evening, Frank. Everybody on the net tonight. Yeah, I'm just watching the football game here. Like Cliff was saying, I just can't imagine sitting down there in that 16, 17 degree weather. So, but Talker Alias. Yeah, I'm just looking at Brandmeister here, and I see I pop up. Didn't know if I've got the Alinco DJ MD5, and if it's on, well, I didn't put it on that I'm aware of, so maybe it's just working. But what I usually see on the screen when somebody else is transmitting is just their talk group number, or the ID number, I'm sorry. I'm over here in western New York. I come up to Chautauqua Lake. Excuse me a minute. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm over at Chautauqua Lake. I come up here today. Well, I wanted to get up here and see what's going on. Plus, I was going to try to get some of the snow off the roof. Yeah, there's probably at least 15 inches on the ground, and it's just a lot of snow. So, it won't be hard to get the snow off the roof. It's going to be hard just moving on the ground, trying to move around in all that snow. But anyway, yeah, it was a good week. A little bit of snow each day, and had a club meeting, and that's where I bumped into Ray. I've known Ray a long, long time. So Ray and I were just talking a little bit about several things, and I think I mentioned I heard him on the PA State Net, and then I said, gee, why don't you not doing nothing Sunday night? Stop by the southern tier of New York DMR Net. So you might find some of the conversations interesting. So good to hear Ray in there. And Ray, if you're still listening, say hello to Anna. So I'll probably head back Tuesday. They're forecasting more link effect snow, and I don't need the excitement. Plus, there's not a whole lot to do other than move the stuff around. So I'll probably get out of here Tuesday morning sometime and head back home because my grandson gets off the bus at our house. So I'll be looking forward to that. But I do see Talker Alias here in Brandmeister, Frank. I'm looking at it now, so it's working pretty good. Okay, back to you, Frank. W2FJH N30JP.
Hey, very good there, Mick. And yeah, I happen to notice that it came up as Michael as opposed to Mick, and I was just wondering, there might be a setting that you can put it as N30JP space Mick, but I'm not familiar with the Alinco DJ MD5. Usually, a lot of times it'll be the DMR, where you put your DMR ID and there's a small text box that you're also supposed to put the text there. A lot of times that's what the text will be for Talker Alias, and then you just have to find a setting to turn transmit Talker Alias on. But anyways, we'll talk later because I think me and you still have to talk sometime about the TYT UV380 and getting the Open GD77 firmware on there. So hopefully that's going well for you there as well. So all right, next on my list is NE2W. Ed, how was your week?
Oh, good evening, Frank and everybody on the net. Good group tonight. And like Cliff and Mick, I'm watching the football game. Another game in the snow. Not as much snow as the earlier game this afternoon with Philadelphia and Philadelphia. a regular week. Busy with Vera stuff for our radio club. We got a lot going on. We are getting ready for Winter Field Day next weekend. Going to be on the air Saturday and Sunday from Copernic Observatory, and also quite a few of our guys and gals are putting together a class to teach ham radio so people could get their technician license. 6-week course on Saturday mornings where they'll learn about ham radio and also, focus on the material needed for the test. But I like it a lot better. People get to learn and see how it's used instead of just memorizing questions and answers and then getting their license and then saying, now what? Or what's that? So very good that our club members volunteered to put their time into something as nice as that. Don't know much about the radio. Every time I buy a new radio, it's like a learning curve for the week or two to get it all set up, and then a year goes by, and if I have to do anything again, I don't know, because the Yaesu I have is different from the Radidity, is different from the both. They're all different, and they're night and day different. So it's what works on one doesn't work on the other, and you hit the wrong button, and you can cause problems. But anyway, that's it. Hope everybody has a good week. This is NE2W.
Hey, very good there, Ed. And yeah, I was thinking about potentially trying to get down there for the Vera Winter Field Day. I didn't really know. I might send it back to you because I didn't really know what time to kind of. I didn't know if there was like a social hour or something as part of Winter Field Day. Kind of if you want to come down, talk, and I wasn't really going to try to get on the air too much. I mean, you guys do an amazing job at on different bands and everything else in CW and kind of a little beyond me with especially with the CW stuff. but but yeah, I'll send it back to you. I didn't know if there was like hey, if you're just coming by for to meet and greet and for coffee, come by at like 1 to 2 or something like that. But I'll hand it back over to you there, Ed.
Okay, Frank. Well, that's a good question. It's Saturday, January 25th. So next Saturday from 11 a.m. all the way through Sunday at 5 p.m. So it ends Sunday evening at 5. The whole thing is just a one big get together. It's not really a contest per se. It's just to participate any mode. I think we're doing them all. I know one of the guys does CW, but somebody mentioned FT8 and getting on every different band because there's a multiplier, so they want to get on at least 6 bands, if not more. And it's kind of like a Parks on the Air type of thing, too. It's sort of a mixture of everything, and like I said, there's no particular coffee hour or anything. The whole contest is a social event. Where there is operating, but it's not that serious. We're going to have 4 stations set up through our quadplexer, and we really open it up this year more so that after the success of ARRL Kids Day, to welcome anybody to stop up, whether you're a ham club member or not, or the public. If you want to see what it's about, come on up. And the schedule right now, we're going to be able to go through the whole period. We won't have to shut down at night. A couple guys picked up the third shift. Back to you, Frank, and the group, the Cine 2W.
Hey, very good there, Ed, and thanks for the info. Yeah, I'll try to stop down there. Hopefully, I can ask get the XYL will allow me to go down there for a few hours and see what everything's about, and I'll be out in the cold there. So, all right, I have reached the end of my list. This is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. So let's see if there's any additional stations that would like to check in this evening. Please call now.
Well, this is NE2W with an additional.
Yeah, Ed, you beat me to the punch there. I was literally about to key up and ask, well, nothing heard. How about any additional comments, questions, or concerns? So, Ed, fire away with your additional comments there.
Well, you mentioned out in the cold. No, we're going to be inside where it's warm. That's not a requirement that you be. You can work the contest from the comfort of your home or a remote location. Uh, you can do it yourself, have a whole club involved. Uh, but we decided we're definitely inside. This isn't. Uh, we're all set up in the different rooms of Copernic, and also our sister club over there in Elmira, Horseheads. They're going to be operating the same thing out at their club station location at some airport over there in Elmira, Horseheads. Just wanted to add that. If you come up, it'll be warm, and hopefully there'll be some coffee and donuts, that type of thing. 73 NE2W.
Okay, very good, and thanks, sir. Yeah, I thought we had in the past, at least, we had a couple stations that were actually outside, but I don't know, maybe I'm getting it confused with the Summerfield Day, which we definitely do have quite a few stations outside with some canopies and all of that. So, all right, very good there, and thanks. All right, let's take another standby for any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now.
And 2 QFD with an additional.
And 2 QFD. Now, fire away with your question there, or your additional.
Thanks, Frank. I just wanted to pass along, as Ed had said, the Amateur Radio Association of the Southern Tier, which is here based at the Harris Hill National Soaring Museum site up on Harris Hill, is, like he said, also doing Winter Field Day at the clubhouse. It's operating 11 a.m. Eastern Time through 16:59 Eastern Time the next day, so the whole event, January 25, the whole weekend. I'm looking at a radiogram I got from November 2, Romeo Zulu N2RZZ. Chemung County hams will gather at Harris Hill Aries Comm Center. We will operate Club Call, Whiskey 2, Zulu Juliet. All are invited. We will have many operating positions covering CW, digital, voice, and on all bands except 6 meters. So if you happen to be closer to this end of it, feel free to stop by the clubhouse.
Hey, very good there, Mal, and thanks for the additional information there. Yeah, I used to. I'm actually kind of in the middle of the two of you there, and I used to go down to Barra on Saturday, and then on Sunday I would go up to ARAS and see the folks up there. I think you actually mentioned, yeah, I apparently go club hopping, or ham radio club hopping, for winter and summer field day. But Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that much time this year, but hopefully soon I'll be able to continue that tradition there. So, all right. This is W2FJH with the STNY Digital VoiceNet. Again, I reached out on my list, so any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns, please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so we might as well wrap things up here. I'd like to thank Carlton, Jeff, Dennis, Ray, Paul, Ed F, Mal, Cliff, Mick, and Ed K for joining me this evening. We'll be returning this talk group back to normal amateur radio use. Everybody have a great and safe and stay warm out there this week. And this is W2FJH, and I'll be listening.